Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, where I learned this truth from. Much respect to the brothers that are out there preaching and teaching the truth worldwide across the four corners of the earth, risking their lives and freedom for this truth. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect, the house of David, and the Akim and Akwaf that might be listening to this lesson on today. This is your brother, Abad Yabah, coming through with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And the title of my lesson is When the Pressure's On. Now, pressure is defined as the use of persuasion, influence, or intimidation to make someone do something. And we know what pressure is coming about sooner than later. We can talk about the MOTB. We can talk about the famine of food and the word. We can talk about our jobs. We can talk about our families. We can talk about all the pressures that's going to come about because of Esau being threatened about his kingdom being destroyed. So the pressure is going to be put upon us as believers to either do something that we know is unrighteous, to be concerned and consumed with this world and the ways of this world, then following Yahweh Shem Yahushai, there's going to be pressure put upon us, but we have to stay focused and we have to stay firm, and we also have to stay true to our faith. And we can't fear man. We have to fear Yahweh Shem Yahushai, because that's who's in control and going to always be in control, and he's going to allow us to overcome if we endure to the end. We have to continue to be steadfast and unmovable in this word and this truth, and not be consumed by the ways of this world and the pressures of this world. So without further ado, I'm going to go into my first scripture. And my first scripture is coming from Psalms 118, 5-6. And it reads, it says, I called upon the Lord in distress. The Lord answered me and set me in a large place. The Lord is on my side. I will not fear. What can man do to me? So that is the perfect scripture to start off with, because it basically encompasses everything that we should be having an understanding of already. When we're in a situation, who can we call upon? Yahweh Shem Yahushai. And what will he do? He's going to come through every single time. And he's not going to allow us to worry about this world, because he's going to put us in a place of, we're going to put us in a place to where we can not be in fear of what's going on. He's going to put us in a place to where we can focus on him, and we shouldn't worry, doubt, or fear about what man can do, but keep our mind stayed upon the kingdom, our mind stayed upon the will of our Father, Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Proverbs 24:10 reads, it says, if thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. And that basically talks about your faith. It talks about your trust. It talks about your belief in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. If you don't have faith, belief, and trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, what is going to happen in the day of adversity? You are going to faint. You are going to fall out. You're going to conform to whatever it is that is brought to you. It don't matter what it is. We know that we're not supposed to take the MOTB. We know that we're going to come into a time to where the dollar's not going to matter. We're going to come into a time to where we might be fired from our jobs or whatever the case may be. But we can't think about those things and worry about those particular things. We have to keep our mind stayed upon the work and the works that Yahweh Shem Yahushai has for us to do, and what we've been purposed to do this whole time. If we lose sight of that and we focus on the things that we don't have, or our wants and what we think our needs are in that time of adversity, then we're gonna fall out, and we're gonna take whatever that they have dangling before us to fulfill those pleasures or those desires at that moment in time. You don't want to be in lack as far as faith, as far as belief and trust when all hell breaks loose. You want to be full. You want to be full of faith. You want to be full of fearing of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, to where you're going to do and follow him in a way to where you're not uncovered to the ways of this world and the things that are going to be destroyed around you, and the corruption and the wickedness and the evil that's coming about, because Esau once again knows he had a short time left to be ruler in rulership. 1 Corinthians 10 and 13 tells us, as it reads, it says, "Therefore have no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But Yahweh is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that ye are able, but will with the temptation also make a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it." So ponder on that for a second. There's going to be things that's going to come about. There's going to be things that's going to test you. But Yahweh Shem Yahshua is going to allow you to have a way of escape. But we have to believe and trust in him. We have to have our faith on 144,000, to where we cannot bend to the ways of this world and the things of this world. Because we know everything in this world, once again, is temporal, and we want to be having our mind stayed upon things that are eternal. We're not exempt from things coming against us. We're not exempt from things being hard for us. We've been dealing with that since day one. We're not exempt from hardships and complications. But when those things come, we know where our strength lies, and we know that we will be able to bear it as long as we have Yahweh Shem Yahshua on our side, and he will never leave us nor forsake us. So we have to make sure that we stand fast and stand strong in the midst of that adversity. Demonic forces are going to come against us. There's going to be so many things that's going to try to confuse us, pollute our minds, and keep us to where things are going to come about, to where we will have to continue to just push forward no matter what it looks like. In 2 Corinthians 10, 3-5, it reads, it says, "For though we walk in the flesh, we do not war against the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through Yahweh, to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalted itself against the knowledge of Yahweh, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Hamashiach." So we don't always deal with things that are coming against us in a fleshly form. For the most part, it's spiritual that we're dealing with daily, and we got to have that in mind when things come against us. We got to make sure that we are using what Yahweh Shem Yahshua has given us, which is these scriptures, which is his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and to keep pushing forward no matter what. We have to be able to use our discernment when things come about in our mind. We have to use the scriptures to understand the things that are coming about that might be trying to push us in our flesh to make us do things that we know that we should not do. So we cannot be greedy. We cannot be, to the point to where arrogance takes over, greed takes over, positions, popularity, money, anything and everything that could cause us to sway our judgment and our faith. We have to take those things into consideration and understand that we want to stay in position for Yahweh Shem Yahshua to continually use us each and every day. So that has to be the understanding. That has to be the thoughts in our mind, and not let this world consume us to where we become of this world. James 1:12 reads, it says, "Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him." So we have to endure to the end. That's what we're always talking about, enduring to the end. We always, when the brothers talk, or when the lessons are coming about, enduring to the end is one of the things that is talked about mainly. Because if we endure to the end, then we're going to receive those crowns of life. We're going to be in those chairs with Yahweh Shai if we endure to the end, but we have to do so. And we have to have our mind stayed upon enduring to the end. And we cannot let our weaknesses or the things that we're dealing with be hidden to the point to where we don't have the strength to continue to endure. James 5:16 reads, it says, "Confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. The effectual, fervent prayer of the righteous man availeth much." So we have to make sure that we let each other know what we're dealing with, let each other know what's going on with us, and not be so secretive and thinking that you're going to be embarrassed about things that are going on with you. Because like I said, the pressure is going to be on us each and every day, not later, but sooner than later. It may be on you right now as you are listening to this lesson. The pressure might be on you to make a decision. And that's why you got to make sure that you're not keeping things to yourself. I'm not saying tell all your business, but I'm saying, but it's important that you let your brothers know what you're dealing with, that they may pray for you, that Yahweh Shai might deal with you in that manner to where you are relieved of that pressure that you're dealing with, and you'll be able to continue to stand in the midst of adversity, because it's coming. And if it's not already here, it's going to be coming soon. So we cannot think that everything is going to pass us up just because we have this truth. We can't think that we're going to be exempt because we know who we are and know who we serve and know who our big brother is. It's not going to be an exemption for us. We just have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to deal with the things of this world. So when the pressure's on, we have the word, and we know that Yahweh Shai is not going to let us fail if we continue to hold on to his unchanging hand. My final scripture is coming from 1 Peter 1:6-7, and it reads, it says, "Wherein ye greatly rejoice, though now for a season, if need be, ye are in heaviness through manifold temptations, that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perishes, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach." So understand that there's going to be a time of rejoice, because we're going to be able to endure these things if we hold fast, if we stay on the narrow path of righteousness, and understand that the trials, are only going to be for a short time if we continue to push forward. The days are so short now, it's like the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, it just seems like a couple of hours. But that's to keep your faith boosted, to let you know that you can endure as long as you keep your mind stayed upon Yahweh Shai, you do the works, and you keep focused, and these trials that you're going to go through is going to show where your faith lies. And we all know that we're going to be tested. We're going to be tested as gold and silver is tested. It's going to be fiery trials. It's going to be a lot of things that you're scared of and that you're fearful of, and that's going to show where your faith lies. You're either going to give up, or you're going to either push forward and continue to pray, continue to fast, and continue to hold on to the word of Yahweh Shai and do and follow and commit yourself to the law, statutes, and commandments, to show that you love him. Because if you do those particular things, when the pressure's on, when all hell breaks loose, then you'll be able to be on those chariots when your Yahushua comes. And that's where we're all looking forward to. That's what we're all desiring. That's what we're all fantasizing about. That's what our dreams are basically consumed with, being in our rightful place, in those new bodies, in the new kingdom, and being what we need to be and what we should always have been, had we not basically fell out and did things against Yahweh Shem Yahushua. We want to be in our rightful place. We want to be in right standing with Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and not in these fleshly bodies to where we are corrupt and where we can be corrupted. We want to be to where we're not going to go off anymore, and it's going to be an eternal blessing and peaceful and joyous time with Yahushua, and be able to be in our rightful place once again. We want to be there, but we know that the pressure is going to come, and we're not here to say who is what and what's going to happen to anyone, but we're saying don't fold. Keep pushing, keep believing, keep trusting in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because only then will you show your faith to be true and your actions to be righteous. Because this world is going to make things come before you as to be important, to be more so than what you could dream of, as far as in this physical form. But when those things are presented to you, you should know that your salvation is greater, that your faith being in Yahweh Shem Yahushua is stronger than any temptation or anything that this world can provide for you at this time. Keep pushing, keep believing, keep trusting, and hold on to your faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushua, because he will carry you through each and everything that this world is going to tempt you with, is going to try to persuade you to do, and going to place before you to make you stumble or be stopped, blocked, or hindered. It's not about us right now. It's about Yahweh Shem Yahushua always, and for us to do what we've been purposed here to do. So that is the conclusion of my lesson. I pray that all were listening, were edified, and as always, give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Until my next lesson, Shalom.